Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning? It is Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025. Hope everybody is doing well. We're just about a minute and 45 seconds before the trade's going to kick off here. About a minute and a half or so. The 9 o'clock trade. Let's take a look at the charts real quickly. Price is moving up. Remember, we are looking for a short, and we're looking for a 50 tick target with a 100 tick stop loss. And right now, currently as it sits, we are here. So this area right here, for us to be able to take a short, I want to basically be below it. This where we hit the top here, it's breaking out to the upside. We actually want to be short. So unless price within the next 30 seconds, which doesn't look like it, is going to close below, let's say like 111-ish, we're not going to get a trade for 9 o'clock. We've got about 20 seconds left, and it looks like we are not going to get an entry for this morning. We got 10 seconds until the bar closes. And the bar just closed, and we did not get a setup. So so no trade for the 9 o'clock, so we wait for the 9:30. So this gives us a little bit of time to talk about what happened during the overnight. So I marked it purposely for a reason. I actually had something that was for the grace of God, actually, if I can say that. I was actually spared and saved last night because the way the trade was developing, it is right here, it's 250. So this is the opening of the 255 candle. So as it sits right here, right now, if I'm looking chart right, which hopefully you guys can see, I am basically looking for a long entry. Now, I was watching price for about 15, 20 minutes, just keep going up. Now, as it was happening, right at around, I want to say probably like 2:30. So for the last hour before the open, I was kind of watching price, and I marked some levels. And what I did is, and this level is not correct. This should be up here. So I had an engulfing bar right here, okay? And I marked the lines here. So as you can tell, right at around 2 o'clock, which is around 11 o'clock my time. I'm in Pacific time. So we've been trading since about like 10:30 New York time. I'm sorry, 11:30 New York time to 2 o'clock in the morning New York time. We've been trading inside of this one, this engulfing bar range on the 5-minute. Okay. And at the same time, we're also trading inside this 15-minute. So what I did is for the previous 15, if I look at the 15, which is where we are right here, I drew these lines right here. See, this is an engulfing bar. It engulfs this, and it's really huge, right? And then it couldn't continue to go lower, and it's just been trading inside of that. So I marked that for the 15, and then I marked inside of that the 5. Okay? So as I'm watching price, move, if I'm trading inside this zone, then, or this range, I'm not really interested in, I'm very cautious in taking any kind of a trade because I could potentially get, chopped and stopped out. So I'm looking for a break one way or the other, long or short, doesn't really matter. So as price started to break long, I'm thinking, okay, cool. But here's the thing. It's only 2:10, which is 50 minutes before the actual trade is supposed to take place. So as price is moving, I'm like, all right, well, let's just keep watching. And then on the, I think this was on the 1 minute chart, or either the 1 or the 3 minute. That was a 3 minute. Okay, it was a 3 minute chart. This right here in this area, I got an engulfing bar as well, and then I marked that bar with the high of the engulfing to the high of the previous, to the low of the engulfing and the low of the previous bar, and I just basically marked lines that extend to the right, okay, which is where these dotted lines come from. So what that tells me is that to break out, I need to break out of the dotted line to the upside or the dotted line down below to the downside, okay? So now we start to trade inside this range of this dotted line, and it's approaching the top. At the same time, we're still approaching the high of the 15. So while all this is happening, I'm thinking this is great as long as it doesn't shoot up completely and take me into this right here in this red shaded area, which is the 15-minute opening range of the previous day. So this is yesterday's 15-minute opening range. And those opening ranges are usually very, very strong for about 24 hours, okay? So while what I was thinking is that if I break and I go inside, I have to be really careful if I get to this top right here. Is this going to be a testing point of a resistance? As you can tell, it went up here and it bounced, rejected. This is the low of the 15, and the high is clearly up here, okay? So I keep watching price, and it's still slowly but surely, here it is now, 240, and all of a sudden I get this big candle shooting up. So now I'm thinking, all right, if this candle closes up and doesn't retrace, that means we're going to be trading inside this 15-minute opening range of yesterday's 15-minute opening range. And then what I'm doing is I'm looking for this high right here. And if price comes up here before 3 o'clock, I have to be really careful to see if it's going to bounce back, okay? Because it's going to be basically a resistance point. So it does just that. It starts to go up. It is now 250. I'm 10 minutes away before I'm, the market opens. So I'm being really cautious. And here's this bar right here, which is the 255. And then here's where the market opens. Now, here's where things got really interesting. So the bar actually closed down at 305, which means I still have a long signal. So I'm supposed to be taking a long trade, okay? Now, if I look at the 1 minute at that time, and I have it marked for a reason. So here's the 1 minute at 3 o'clock, okay? So when this bar closed at 301, it gives me this shooting star, what it's called, the shooting star, which is a reversal. Again, we basically could not close above the high of the opening range, and it's rejecting and going down. So I'm now watching it. Remember, I have until 305 to make my decision. As I'm watching this bar closes down and this bar closes down. So now I still have a long signal on the 5 minute, but price is going down and it's retracing. So I'm not going to take the trade. So I decided not to take the trade. And as it happens, right at this point right here, at 304, okay? Now, just so you guys know, I'm remoting in to my office, okay? I'm taking this trade from my house. And I'm on my laptop, and I'm being remoted in. At 304 and like 10 or 15 seconds, I lose my connection. I lose my internet connection. And I basically am not able to do anything. Now, at the same time, I still have a long signal. and this thing is waiting to take a long. Excuse me. By the time I got back into, my computer, it was like, I don't know, like a minute and a half later, it was like 3:05 or 3:06 or something like that. It would have actually triggered the long, but it did not because I didn't have my connection. So as you can tell at 3:05 right here when this bar opened, so the low of this bar is 114. It's actually taking a long at 114. And then look what happened. Price just dropped. Okay? And it went literally 150 ticks without a single point of retracement in my favor. And then immediately, got stopped out 10 minutes later. So I actually got saved from taking the trade. I wouldn't have taken the trade just because of where I was watching price action. But again, having the disconnect and all that just confirmed of why I was not meant to be taking that trade. So anyway, I just wanted to mark that. As you can see, then price, since it could not make newer highs off of the 15, and this is another thing that I always talk about, if we can't make new highs off of a range, what do? We always try and go to the opposite side and take out the low. So we couldn't go and do anything with the highs of the 15, so it went back to the low. You can see it bounced off of it, and then it's shooting back up again. Here's the 50%, which we talked about too. If it retraces more than 50%, it would try to go back and take the high. If it doesn't, it could potentially come back, take a low, and make new lows. You can see it was meandering around the 50%. And then this basically how it was, during the overnight. And then this morning, it bounced off of it again. It tried to make new lows, immediately went back into the range, and this is all in the 5 minute. Okay. And here we are live going back to try to make the high again. So again, this is a long trade, long setup. It did not trigger, but now you can see where we're at. And that's kind of how I look at the market. So with that, let's see who's in here. Say good morning. Kind of talk to you guys, see if you have any questions. Richie, good morning. Beth, good morning to you. Mitch, good morning. Joe, good morning to you. And good morning to you guys who are in the Discord. So do you guys understand what I was trying to explain on how I was reading the market, which I did yesterday during the trade as well, which was one of the reasons why I did not take the 935 trade because of what the way that the market was structuring itself. This is on TradingView. I've got TradingView on here. And also, I'd like to welcome our Twitch viewers. We have a couple of viewers on Twitch. So I want to welcome you guys as well. So we are about 15 minutes away from the market open. Actually, no, we're 18 minutes away from the market open. Sorry about that. So somebody had asked me yesterday if I still trade simplicity or a variation thereof. And the answer is yes. Let me bring something up here. I'm trying to find out where it is. All right. So here is my simplicity chart. And what I do trade is lately, within the last, 6 months or so, it's like a scalp version of it to get into either a simplicity or just a scalp trade on its own. And it's basically, we called it a PB and J. not the sandwich, but it stands for pullback in jam. So what I'm looking for is we're looking for to be in a simplicity trade. And once you are in a simplicity trade, we are looking for a pullback bar with specific criteria. And once the pullback bar occurs, like this one right here, then the trigger is the opening of the bar. That's your entry. And then you're looking for 20 ticks in profit with a 12 tick stop loss. And this one you can see as soon as this bar opened, it picked up the entry right here. Let me zoom in a little so you can see it, which is right here would be 136.50. So this bar opened down here, and then it pulled back a little bit probably, and then went back up. So as the price was going back up, it would pick up your order, get you in, and then it would hit target. So this is what we call a PB&J. So somebody was asking me if I trade simplicity and order prints and things like that. The answer is yes, and I traded in this fashion. And this is something that we talk about in the Discord throughout the morning on this type of a trade. So just wanted to kind of show that to you guys for those of you who were wondering. Get rid of some of this stuff. We don't need it. Okay, let's put the Fibonacci on here and see where we're at. So right now we're currently within this Fibonacci sequence, and we are targeting this area right here at 194. You can see we got really close, which, by the way, I had that up as well during the overnight. And when it was trying to hit it, you know, this whole thing was just showing reversal at this point. So anything long would have been very, you know, suspicious to me, which I'm really glad I didn't take it, and I had every intention on not taking it. So let's talk about this real quick. So right here, if you, here, these scrolling QR codes are for links to the different prop firms that I trade and the different discounts that are available. So Purdia Capital, which is showing on the screen right now, which I have a funded account with, is offering 25%. I think they're actually offering 40% off right now for Easter, and I think it's over tonight. And then Take Profit Trader is still offering their 30% off with no activation fee. And good morning, Trade Hawk. How are you? Good morning, Miguel. Like I said, Take Profit Trader, and then Bulenox is offering 91% off right now. So use code LP91. That's LP, large pips, 91. For Bulenox, you get 91% off, and it's 91% off recurring. So that's a pretty good deal they've got, and I think that's going on until the end of the month. And then Apex has their 80% off, and use code LARGE for that one. So if you scan those QR codes, with your phone, that will get you to where you need to go. Let's see. Trade Hawk, you were saying 10-minute chart is trading above its 200 moving average, the first time in several days. Okay, well that's good. We'll see how that translates during the open. So again, guys, if you do decide to get an account with any one of these prop firms and you use my code, I'd really appreciate it. It helps me and the channel out a little bit. If not, that's okay too, not a problem. Just the fact that you guys are here watching me and with me every morning is support enough as it is. So with that, also don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, just to kind of make sure, and also hit the notification bell so that you get notified every time I go live and anytime I post a new video. Let's see, what else can I cover with you guys? Unless there's some questions that you guys have, go ahead and post that in the chat. And then if you want access to the Discord, this is the QR code to scan for that. That is a paid Discord where it's got also a live trade room that we continue after this session in the morning. And we also have a great mentorship program where we actually coach traders. It's not really a specific like course per se. It's more about I'm working on developing you as a trader, developing a trade plan, working on your discipline, things like that. So that is the code for that. And I think that's good enough for now. Okay, so as we can see, price was trying to go again up to this previous 15-minute range high and was not able to do that. It's being rejected. And basically it formed this, I guess we'll call it a doji on the 5 and started to push downward. So we'll see if when the market opens, if this thing is going to try and go down to the low here, which is the actual low of the overnight as well, which is down here. So we'll see what this market decides to do. And again, for the 930, we are looking for a long setup. We're about 8 minutes away from the open, and let me make sure that I've got everything set up for me to take the trade. Let's check my trade copier.
Order submitted.
All right.
Order canceled.
That looks good. Do one more.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
Need to select the right account. That would help.
Order submitted. Order
All right. Make sure I've got the right one here. I do. Let's see if it shows up here.
Order submitted.
It does. All right. So as you can tell, we actually spiked down here. It's kind of interesting. So price on this bar came back down here, tested this high of this range right here, which is the almost the 50% of the opening range. As you can tell, price was kind of meandering a little bit here, and then it just dropped, but it did come back down here, try to test it. It did test the highs here, bounced, and now it's continuing to move upwards. So, well, let's just see what this market decides that it wants to do. And again, the ATM that I'm using for the 935 is a 100 tick target with a 100 tick stop loss. And remember, yesterday was a losing trade, but I did not take it because of the way that the market was presenting itself. So we'll see what today brings us. So we do have this H pattern here, and it's also showing on the 3 pretty nicely. So we'll see if this thing is going to continue to go up, which will give us a measured move, or is it going to basically bounce back here and then, you know, come straight down? We've talked about this a bunch of times, right? So if we're going to do that, let's take our fib tool, draw it here. We got a 23 retracement. Not really enough, the kind of pullback I'd like to see, but if the market, once it opens and it does take off to the upside, then we're looking to target up here, which, remember, we did the same thing yesterday, and it actually did end up hitting the target after the fact. Good morning, Phil. The stop was 13 ticks, and the target is 20 ticks, so it's just a quick scalp. Now, when the market's moving like violently and volatility is like through the roof, then you need to expand it. I would double it. Make the stop at least 25 ticks, and then the target 40. All right, we're just about 2.5 minutes away from the open. How are we? How are we doing in the Discord, guys? Are we doing good? We have. Do we not have any delays? Because I know YouTube has about a 10, like a 8 to 10 second delay, and in the Discord we don't have a delay. At least we shouldn't anyway. All right, we are about a minute from the open. How does the pre-market look? Not good. Pre-market does not look good. Looks like this thing's going to open screaming downward. Let's see what happens. All right, we got 10 seconds till the market opens. And here we go. And this thing is lighting up green across the board. Watch this. All this just, it was all red and it just taken off green. So, but this is the exact same thing that happened. The opposite happened yesterday. The market, everything was lighting up green, and then the market ended up going to the upside, and everything here is green. I mean, it was red and going to the upside. Everything ended up going green, and the market NQ was just tanking. So remember, we're talking about this, resistance and reversal for the H pattern, or the inverted H or chair. So it's doing just that. Now we'll see if it's going to continue, and if this bar closes down, obviously we will not get a trade long. But we will be looking to have this thing move towards the downside, and it is retracing. Now, here's the thing. It's bouncing off the 3.8. We'll just kind of see how this thing develops for our immediate purpose, and then we'll see what happens for the remainder of the day. So, again, this is an engulfing bar, a pretty big one, actually. And we can see also on the 1 minute what it's doing. Literally like took out all this. So all this stuff that was happening in the last half hour, it took all of it out. All right, let me just throw one more test order in here just to make sure that we're still good.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
All right, it's fine. All right, we've got about 2.5 minutes. All right. So the 5 minutes not giving me any indication of anything. The 1 minute, we're trading inside of this, which is not good. I don't like that. I want to basically break out of here like quickly within the next minute or so. Otherwise, I'm not going to be taking the trade because that means that we're going to get in chop. And I'm basically looking for price to close above 130, 137. So right around here, this area. If we close above here, then I'm going to get a long signal. But I really want to see price, break out of here before that, because otherwise this is just going to be choppy and it's not good. So, all right, we got 40 seconds left. Again, I want to see price close above 137 to take this thing long. We got about 20 seconds left. And we've got 10 seconds left, and it doesn't look like we're going to get a setup this morning, guys. 3, 2, 1. There's the new bar. It closed below, so no setup. And as you can tell, price is continuing to go down. So while we're doing this, remember, if we're closing below, and a lot it's going to depend on this bar right here, if it doesn't retrace more than 50%, we're going down, which will confirm this H pattern reversal, which means we're going basically back down. So, all right, guys, thanks for joining me this morning. And as you can tell, we failed here, right? So if we had this zone up here, we failed this area. All right, so now we're going to try to take out the bottom of it. Anyhow, we'll keep watching this for the rest of the day. Again, thanks for joining me, guys. I really appreciate it. Your support means a lot to me. The fact that you guys are here every day with me, I really appreciate that. So we'll see you all back here again tomorrow. And for those of you trading the London, I will be on at 3 a.m. Eastern time, and we will see you then. Until then, take care, you guys, and we'll see you later. Bye now.